Group C of the round of 32. It's going to be a ZVZ between Crayon and Acer Bly.
Yeah, and I personally am really excited to see how this game and the series kind of turns out because both of these players have shown they're pretty decent at the game, and ZVZ is always a fun match, even if it's awful to play. I will certainly admit that.
Yeah, certainly. So we're going to see the players are ready. And ZookaMan, do you have any predictions on who's going to come out top?
I'm gonna go with Bly because he's the expert, and I think the expert always has the advantage.
So what do you think? What do you think that Cran can do to get into the series?
Hmm. The more enjoyable way is to do something weird. That's really a good way to kind of pick out games from somebody who's better than you. Do some sort of cheese or do something weird like I'm gonna do a proxy roach warren. And maybe catch your opponent off guard with what you're doing. Kind of like how you were mentioning earlier on the having something your opponent doesn't know how to deal with, and therefore having a kind of advantage in doing it.
Yeah, certainly. But we are in game now, so let's go ahead and introduce our players. Since they're both Zerg, our players will need to know which players picked which. So in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the yellow Zerg player, hailing from the European server and returning to Season 3 of the RSL because he was a finalist. It is Acer's Bly.
His opponent on the opposite side of the map, in the purple, in the Zerg. Again, we have Crayon, representing Endurance Esports, and certainly the underdog as far as the RSL is concerned in this series. We'll see if he can kind of pull it out and show everybody what he's made of.
Yeah, definitely here. We're going to see that so far, no early pools, no 10 pools or 9 pools or 7 pools or 6 pools, or any of those numbers. So both players definitely not going to pull out the cheekiness, but Bly's going to go ahead and go for that pool first, while on the other side of the map, looks like Crayon's going to go for that hatch first.
The internal debate of ZVZ, should I go hatch first or should I go pool first, or what's exactly the right decision here, especially considering how late your scout goes out across the map, because the overlords are usually used in this matchup and you don't normally see drone scouts in this matchup. So Acer Bly going to be going, like we said, that pool, but we saw him do that earlier on in his series against shoot, what was his name? Help me out here, Hawkeye.
Wait, are you talking about Crayon or Acer Bly?
Our Terran in our first series.
Yeah, that's going to be Haspe.
Haspe, there we go. In his match against Haspe, he went for the early pools, and he's going to do kind of the same thing again. So that's looking to be kind of his like preferred style in all the matchups, not just his PVT or ZVT matchup.
Yeah, and you also got to wonder too if he is playing from Europe, Bly is, so wonder if he's going for just more of the solid plays rather than any like cute micro kind of tricks sort of things too. So the pool first might be anticipating that he is playing on a different server and there might be some of those lag opportunities early game. So
That's actually something that I certainly didn't think of. So nice point there, Hawkeye. Definitely going for the earlier pool in that situation is probably good because even if you do lag, then you have the ability to build the units that you need to in order to defend pretty much anything that your opponent throws at you, assuming that you see it early enough.
yeah, so we're gonna have to see. We do see a little bit of Ling War here, and Cran's gonna come out on top come out on top with that. So Cran having both of his lings and Bly actually losing his first two. So again, that might be an example of some cross server lag that might be occurring here. So Bly maybe not choosing to get into these ling bling wars that require a lot of intensive micros. So maybe going for the roach style. But we'll have to find out here. We're gonna see that Cran is gonna get in here, but he's not going to be able to see much. So he's not going to be able to see the speed that is starting or the gas is being mined still. All that juicy details that'll tell you if you can drone or not.
Something to point out here Acer seems kind of behind as far as his timings are concerned. His speed's going to be about probably 20-30 seconds here behind that of Crayons. And especially in a mirror matchup, those upgrades are very, very important. Having your timings, having your tech at the opportune moments is very important for being able to have advantages in fights. So I'm kind of interested to see if that was because of maybe crossover lag, or if that was just a matter of kind of forgetfulness.
Yeah, but we are going to see that some banelings are going to be made outside, so Crayon's going to have to force Bly into going for Ling Bane. So we do see that the baneling nest is completed for Bly, so he is going to try to go ahead and get those banelings in time here. But the first set of banelings are going to come out, and Queens are going to hold the position, and some decent banes going off, but just a lot of lost lings here, but just enough to still continue to get some harassment done in the main base, getting a couple lings, and really making these banelings run around for their lives.
And picking off a couple of them, he can do that with a couple of his Zerglings there. Zerglings have spawned out more to help out for Bly, and I think, has his speed kicked in? Yeah, it looks like his speed just kicked in a couple seconds ago here. So that's going to kind of help out here as long as he's careful about avoiding those Bane connections.
Yeah, but a little bit of missed micro from Crayon. He lost those two Banes that he kept hidden. So Bly looking to be able to defend this pretty well, and Bly even having the worker count and a little less of the army supply, but he has enough Banes, and with the right kind of micro, we'll be able to defend this easily.
Banes are going to be going very dangerously close to that group of Zerglings. They are all going to lose all of his Banglings, as Crayon's going to there, which is definitely going to help out a little bit for Acer Bly. I think he's a 1 or 2 Banglings up of that of his opponent. So definitely going to kind of take advantage there.
Yeah, so I think that this isn't quite over yet, but Bly definitely showing that he is a leading position right now. Just because he has to defend. He's not the aggressor here in this instance, and we're seeing that we're going to see a Roach Warren follow up by Crayon.
And that's actually probably the pretty decent idea, since Acer Bly seems behind as far as when he's getting things. If his Roach Warren's even slightly delayed right now, that could be a big hit for Crayon. Actually, Crayon's going to be able to get up into the main base with a nice run by.
Yeah, so he gets a run by, and a couple of Banes go off actually to kill some of these Zerglings here. But Bly's going to be able to get back here and defend, and just it disrupts some of mining time. But overall, he's still keeping pace with Crayon. So,
with the exception of the Roach Warren, that is, because there's no Roaches on the way. Even there's not even a Roach Warren down here from Acer Bly, which is, I feel, kind of a big mistake at this point, because Crayon, if he can get up a couple of Roaches at this point, he could try to move out and get some serious damage done.
we're going to see Bly. He's going to go ahead and get that third base here pretty quickly, and we do see some action on the other side of the map. The Roach Warren gets scouted. The Banelings are actually going to detonate off on these Roaches, and this attack looks like it's going to get shut down.
Yeah, pretty handily. The Roaches coming out on the field, and that's pretty much going to be it, because Banelings are really not all that effective as far as against Roaches are concerned, and since Crayon is pretty much investing only in those Roaches and not a whole lot into his Lings, the Banelings are just going to become more, or less and less effective.
Yeah, but just only a handful of Roaches coming from Crayon, so by the time that these 18 Zerglings are going to come out, and this lair is going to be completed here, there should be plenty of room for Bly to defend, especially with the Spine Crawler up top.
Yes, most certainly. His Roach Warren is just about to finish out, so he'll be able to get his own Roaches out on the map in just a little bit here. Crayon pushing up the ramp, but like you said, not going to be able to get too much. There is a Spine Crawler up there, so he probably can't do a whole lot. He might be able to...
Yeah, losing a ton of Banelings there. I think that was a misclick by Bly, running into some of those Banelings with all the Banelings, so not an equal trade, but his Lings are going to be able to clean up everything here, so...
yes, quite. And actually, a couple of Lings are going to get in the main mineral line. They're going to try to get a couple of drones, but not really all that successful at the end of the day.
Yeah, so Bly just relying on his mechanics in order to keep himself in this game here. We do see his spires going down just a teeny bit after Crayon's as well. So it looks like we're going to see a Muta versus Muta ZVZ.
Those are always kind of fun in my opinion because you get to kind of see how each player can kind of micro. I think Muta's really good at that.
Yeah, so we're going to see more roaches are going to come out for Crayon as we're waiting for that spire to be completed. And no upgrades yet from either of these players, so both players looking to just content on just keeping up with their armies. But roaches are going to come in, try to get this queen snipe, and they are going to get it. And then once they're out of the range of the spine crawler, they're going to go ahead and try to pick up a couple of drones here. So getting some of those drones going to be a nuisance. We see 4 drones down, 5 drones down, 6 drones, 7 drones. Eventually this sounds like a Dr. Seuss book because finally it's just going to be 7 drones.
1 drone, 2 drone, blue drone, red drone, red drone, red drone, blue drone. That sounds a little bit better. But yeah, Dr. Seuss definitely interesting there. Spire is going to be finishing up here from Crayon a little bit before his opponent, which means he'll be able to get 10 Mutalisks in, well, just that much faster.
Yeah, and we do see that the Spire is completed for Bly as well, and so we're going to actually see only 5 Mutalisks come out from Bly here, even though he has the room to be able to make more, but looks like he was just a little bit capped on his larva supply, but they ended up hatching just right about now, so should be able to get that Mutalisk count up, and we can see that he's actually starting his armor upgrade for his flying units from that Spire, so already going to find himself in a leading position for upgrades. But
so there's some spine crawlers moving out across the map.
Yeah, Bly looking to get a little creative, so spine crawlers are going to go over. There's actually 5 of them right now, and Lings are actually going to find them, but are they going to do anything about it? No, the Lings, it's like one of those like ninja movies where they just run by and, you know, they're hiding behind the things, but third base is going to get denied here, but there's just a ton of Lings and Mutalisks on the way, so Bly's going to have to try to miss-micro this, but it looks like a first Muta engagement is going to go down, and with these queens behind, Bly's Mutas are going to do far superior to Crayon's, and Crayon knows that, so he's just going to call that GG. So Bly taking that first series.
Oh goodness, I think that's the first time I've ever seen spine crawlers actually walk across the entire map. I've seen a couple spine crawler rushes, but I've not actually seen spine crawlers uprooted, moved out across the map, and actually make it all the way over there. So certainly props to Bly for doing something that I didn't even expect, and I'm not even playing the game.
Yeah, so it's really interesting to see that. I mean, when you have a ton of spine crawlers, they just kind of sit there, and if you time it right with your Zerglings, actually, it could throw the Zerg player off guard. I know I've done it a couple times in my ladder matches, so there's some players that get a pleasant surprise at the front of their base with those spine crawlers there. They're just like, where are these spine crawlers come from? But yeah, definitely one of those high risk